in which uprisings were as much against cronyism and governments that served the economic interests of elites as they were for individual freedoms and opportunities. If the bloodshed, social experimentation, and ideological polarization of the 20th century have offered us one lesson, it is that extreme solutions do not work when trying to balance public and private power. No society can effectively thrive without a balance between the two. When the balance between public and private power is lost, problems, often large ones, ensue. Recent developments demand we rethink issues that were widely discussed and, we thought, resolved just a few years ago. The end of the Cold War did not bring the expected triumph of American capitalism. The marketplace and its dominant actors, while constantly gaining influence, have, as recent scandals and crises reveal, clearly overreached and abused their power. In the United States in particular, but in many other countries that have adopted a U.S.-like model as well, those abuses have led to a sense that the balance has become far too tilted in favor of private power. Inequality has grown in terms of both economic outcomes and apparent privileges and prerogatives of a super-empowered elite within and beyond the law. The result has produced a backlash and fueled the emergence of other alternative models of capitalism, each of which is based on a different kind of public-private balance, as well as on different philosophical, cultural, and historical foundations. This book, then, is about the epic rivalry between public and private power that has taken place over the centuries, and about how it has entered a new stage. It is about how essential it is to strike a balance between the two, while avoiding collaborations that are too cozy between those empowered by the people and those seeking private gains. It is about the new approaches to achieving that balance that are emerging as legitimate rivals and even likely successors to an American model that has, at least temporarily, lost its equilibrium, and a not inconsiderable measure of its legitimacy. And it is about the emerging world order that turns not primarily on the interplay between states, but on that between a new collection of actors, a handful of traditional states, and a majority of states so weakened that they are now effectively semi-states, an emerging class of increasingly empowered private global actors that might be called super-citizens, and of all the rest of us. Ultimately, therefore, it is about the challenges we face and the choices we must make to achieve the right balance between public and private power in the rapidly changing international environment of the decades ahead, and how history can help us gain the insights we need in order to do that. The evidence is in the headlines. In April 2010, in the wake of the financial crisis, Goldman Sachs's CEO, Lloyd Blankfein, and several other top officials of the firm were summoned to testify before Congress. More than any other company, Goldman had come to symbolize Wall Street clout. Like previous hearings involving financial executives who had played significant roles in the meltdown of global markets in 2008 and 2009, this one followed a traditional script. The executives could barely conceal their contempt for the Congress that had called them to Washington. They read carefully worded, prepared statements that denied wrongdoing. They spoke of the market collapse as if it were something like a turn in the weather. Unfortunately, said Blankfein dryly, the housing market went south very quickly, so people lost money in it. Members of the Senate committee before which they were testifying derided the fundamental conflict in Goldman's selling financial products that its own executives characterized as shitty or crap. The executives didn't flinch. One primly denied that they used that kind of language. For 11 hours, the Congress attacked, and the Goldman executives squirmed, but argued that the products they sold were nothing but tools to reduce client risks, despite all evidence demonstrating that they had actually increased them. America had been rocked by a financial crisis that had